Welcome everyone. My name is Stanley, as has already been mentioned, and I run a company called the Attention Seeker. And as Deborah mentioned, we specialize in personal branding. Part of that personal branding work we do is content creation, and we make content for all platforms. We just have a real targeted niche around personal branding, but we also help people on TikTok. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we start, Deborah asked you'd put your hand up if you didn't know who I was. Can you put your hand up if you haven't, or if you have seen me, on LinkedIn? Just hands up if you've seen a post from me on LinkedIn. Okay, cool. So we've got about 80% of the room, cool. Put your hand up if you've seen me on, or seen our company on TikTok, if you've seen any of our videos. Okay, good, perfect. So what we're gonna do to start this off, we're gonna have a bit of fun. I'm going to make that number 100%. So we're gonna force you all to watch a TikTok of us, watch us on TikTok, one of our videos that went super viral. This one's currently sitting at about 11 million views. So I'm going to see if it'll play straight off the bat, but I don't think it will.
Convincing my boss to hire someone under me.
So, I'm doing too much work.
Wait, how many TikToks have you put up this week?
Regardless, I'm doing too much work. So I thought it's a really good idea that we hire someone under me. Instead of posting a LinkedIn ad, because that's for old people, that I would persuade you with another presentation.
Okay, cool.
Now hiring part-time video editor. Can you create sick cunt videos?
Yep.
Can you handle light bullying in the workplace? No pussies allowed. Are you an ally to get Stan to shake ass?
I don't know if I would hire her on that.
Well, I will, because they're working under me.
Oh, okay, you're paying the salary. Cool, got it.
808 applications, they should stitch and duet this video with their application. Thoughts, questions, concerns.
Concerns. So, bring it on.
Okay.
Fuck it, let's see what these fucking useless pricks can do.
Successful presentation.
I like this, better than your last one. And you didn't waste as much time.
Cheers.
Cheers. Good luck. That there is what they call a TikTok video, apparently. That video, 11 million views, right? So the point of me showing you that is that TikTok isn't just dancing videos, but it is entertainment. It is about entertaining audiences. Our initial approach to TikTok was recruitment brand. We were trying to use it to find staff. Finding creatives in Auckland that aren't just freelancers is quite difficult, actually. So trying to build a recruitment brand on there was a big part of what we wanted to do. So we wanted to showcase our culture. We also wanted to use a platform where we knew young creators were. So that was our initial response. But off the back of that video, we signed 3 clients from that video, all international clients in this particular case. And those contracts for us, and that was something that we did not think. At the point in doing this, when we started this project, we didn't think that would happen. We honestly didn't think we'd find business there. We thought it was a bunch of kids, that's all we're going to talk to. But when you're talking to 11 million people, you only need a tiny, tiny percentage of them to be the right person for you. And it just so happened that a bunch of marketing managers and marketing consultants were watching this, and then they brought us in for their work that they needed for their clients. And so I think all up, it's probably about 400K worth of business that we got out of just that one video, 11 million views. Now, if we, oh, it's gonna play, well, it was gonna play, wasn't it? So if we think about these 11 million views for a second, what I think about this when I think 11 million, it's a real hard number to comprehend when if I think about my LinkedIn content, in all of 22 combined, 2022, I had 1.2 million views on LinkedIn, and I posted 220 something times. And then so one video on TikTok got 11 times that. So it was really hard for me to understand like just the size of this number. So on average, people watch this video for 43 seconds. It's about 90 seconds long. On average, 43 seconds was the watch time. That is how many hours, wait, did I do that right? Days, something like that. Anyway, it turns into that many years Must be days. No, hours. Must be hours. That's way less, way too many days. Hours. 130,000 hours of watch time, 15 years of watch time, right? So 15 years of human potential wasted on a stupid video by two idiots in Auckland. Gone. Never to be seen again. Now, 9% of that audience was over the age of 35. That, in terms of TikTok and sort of demographics there, it's really hard to find who you're looking at, right? Because the way they track demographics is different to, say, LinkedIn, which you can go, I have 80% of my people are business owners or whatever, right? You can drill into it. It's a bit better, which is why we've always liked LinkedIn. But 9% of people are over 35, which I thought was really interesting because that's almost 1 million people over the age of 35, which again is pretty much 100% of my LinkedIn audience, saw that piece of content. So almost the same amount of people watched that one video in sort of the closest I can get to my core demographic on TikTok for that one video as opposed to a whole year's worth of content, right? Now, in terms of Facebook advertising or TikTok advertising or whatever it is, there's a metric that advertisers use for getting reach or getting impressions or views, and it's called CPM, right? So a cost per milli, a cost per 1,000 views. Now, $15 in some circles and some places is a good number to think about when you're sort of looking for a CPM. Those numbers can range, but let's just pick 15 because it works with my slides. And there was 11,000 thousands, right? We all did that math. That's pretty smart of you. 11,000 thousands inside that 11 million. So it's $165,000 worth of reach that we would have otherwise had to pay for if we were doing this in a paid campaign, right? And all that took was 20 minutes of filming, an hour of post-production. So let's just call that 2 hours of labor with both of us in that and then one person editing it. And let's just pretend we're really expensive hourly rate. So say it's $200. $200 cost, get $165,000 of reach. But also, like I said, it returned about $400,000 of business for us. And so, you know, we saved a whole bunch of money, right? And then you can also say, well, yeah, maybe the targeted ads would be a little better. You're going to get to the right sort of people. They're going to be interested in stuff. But our sort of answer to that is that TikTok works on interests. It shows your videos to people interested in the things that you do or the things that your video is about. So when you're creating content for TikTok, you're creating it for a very specific audience that will be interested in the topic you're talking about. If they're not, it won't get shown to them. They'll go on to something else. If you ever get on TikTok and have a play, which you might just do today, you will find that it figures you out this fast. Like, this algorithm is insane. It's the reason it's taken over the world, because within a few minutes, it knows who you are, and it's going to feed you content that you can't resist. So, to that point, those 11 million views are people who were interested in, one, the dynamic of a Gen Z staff member and a millennial boss having a go at each other, but also creatives looking for jobs. We had thousands of stitches to that video as well. People stitching. So what a stitch is on that, got to remember the audience I'm talking to. When you're stitching to that, you're putting a little bit of the video and stitching your video over top as an application, or a duet, which you put in them side by side, right? And we had thousands of people do that, all from all around the world, trying to make videos to get our attention to become one of our employees. And then, long story short, we ended up hiring that person. His name's Don. He lives in Toronto. He's he's our part-time video editor. He's awesome because we send him stuff that we filmed during the day, and then the next morning, it's all delivered into our inbox. So that's a little bit of the numbers. And the point of this little exercise about the numbers is just, you know, there's accountants in this room. You guys get numbers. There is an audience there. You only need a small portion of those people to be your perfect target audience to buy. We're not all selling shoes. So your sales, like your customer value is a lot higher than, say, someone just selling Nike shoes. So you don't need as many sales as what Nike does from the same platform, right? But let's take a look at others, because the next thing I get is like, yeah, but Stan, you guys are saying C-bombs and all sorts of stuff on your content. You're doing fun stuff. You've got a young team. You know, it's different sort of content for you guys. So my sort of counter to you is these three profiles. So the first one here, I don't know if anyone knows Keith, but Keith is a financial planner. He's, I don't know, 67 or something. Very good looking guy. Very suave, very charismatic, but he's still an old white guy talking about financial planning. And he started on January 3rd, and he's sitting at 7,000 followers already. He's had 1 million views across his profile, and he's done nothing but talk to camera about money saving tips, financial planning, mortgages, KiwiSaver, things like that, right? The guy in the middle, Orion. So Orion is an entrepreneur. He has way too many businesses to count, but his main one is a security firm. And he has about 200 staff, turns over about 30 mil, but he's, again, is talking to camera. Now, he is a big Samoan man who likes to swear, so he is entertaining in the fact that he's got the way he speaks is quite entertaining in his language, but he's talking about being a business owner. He's talking about his experience as being an entrepreneur, growing his business and going through that. But we coach him through a way to make sure that he comes across in a way that's entertaining to the audience that he's trying to find. And then lastly, we've got Phone Plus on the end. They're a call center. So I don't know about you guys, but apart from Phone Plus, how many people in here can name a call center by name? Anyone? No. So like that was what Phone Plus did to me when I sat in the room and we're going through this proposal. They're like, no one knows the name of a call center. That's what we want you to change. We just want to be no different to Spark for a telco. These guys have had, since they started, on December 19th, their first post went up, they've had 16 million views, 16 million impressions in, what, 2.5 months or something like that, 3 months? And they've now got 18,000 followers. Now, granted, we've taken a recruitment approach from these guys because that's actually what they wanted initially. They need to probably hire 50 people this year. These guys' videos are hilarious and entertaining, but the point of bringing them up here is that you can take any subject and make it entertaining for the platform. What you do on TikTok, it doesn't have to be a full representation of your brand everywhere. You've got to perform for the platform that you're using, right? So you be entertaining. So these are a few examples of other B2B businesses, other businesses doing business content. You just got to think outside the box and how you can produce content. What is the users looking for when they're on the platform? And with TikTok, it's closer to Netflix than it is Instagram. And that's a good thing to remember, that people are there for entertainment. They are there to be entertained. They're not there for social interactions like they are on Facebook and things, okay? So it's just something to be considerate of as you look at TikTok. Okay, put your hand up if you know who this guy is. Okay, so there's about 6 or 7 people in the room, right, to know who this guy is. So can anyone in the room tell me who he is then? Who wants to say? What does this guy do? Yep, what does he do? He's a YouTuber. What's significant about him? Why is he here and not the other millions of YouTubers? One of them, yeah. He's one of the biggest guys in YouTube, right? This guy, Mr. Beast, has, across his YouTube channel, something like 250 million subscribers. He's got a number of them, a number of channels. Across all his social media, he's got close to 450 million people who follow him, right? His first video was back in 2007, I think it was, 2008. It was a Minecraft video. He was 12, I think, when he first put it out. He's only 24 or 5 now. Last year, who watched this Squid Game video? Put your hand up if you put it. Yep. Did anyone else? No? Well, this was just the one. No, not Squid Game, the TV series. Mr. Beast Squid Game. So Mr. Beast recreated Squid Game in real life. That had 363 million views, that one particular video. He does that weekly. This is another one, 260 million views. He averages about 120 million views per video now, easily. And these are some of his bigger ones. So Mr. Beast is a beast. He's absolutely huge on YouTube, on all social medias. And what's really good about him is that his brand is super wholesome. Like, parents love him because their kids love him. He helps teach kids that it's good to give, it's good to do good things. He does crazy stunt stuff, but none of it's outrageous. There's no swearing in it, there's nothing bad. Parents love him because of it, because he entertains their kids and it's safe content for them to watch. And so, because of that, he has just a massive, massive brand. And there are people who value his brand at about $10 billion. $10 billion from making YouTube videos. And why it's interesting to bring up is because you'll think, yeah, he's just a YouTuber. Why are you telling us about YouTubers or TikTok stars and stuff? But this guy's a businessman. He is full-on businessman. Mr. Beast Burgers, first year, did 100 mil in turnover. He decided that he'd start dubbing all his videos in other languages because English isn't the most popular language in the world. And the service or the team he developed to do that, right, an outsourced language translation team, he now does for all the other YouTubers. So he's now got this service that he sells to other YouTubers and has another business in that, right? And he's got chocolates that in their first weekend in Walmart, which was only in about 15 stores, did 150 grand on 2 days, his chocolate. They hadn't even told everyone they were there yet, right? So you can imagine where he's at now. Like, people reckon he got offered $1 billion for his brand to walk away. He said, no way. It's not even close. And most people think 10 is a low ball estimate. So it just shows you the power of when you have an audience and when you talk to a lot of people, what you can achieve with your business. And this guy has proper B2B professional service businesses in his portfolio, like not just selling chocolates and burgers. Those are just the pretty ones he can talk about, right? That his audience cares about. What about this guy? Who knows this guy? Anyone? Nah, I didn't think as many people would. So Linus Sebastian owns a company called Linus Media Group. They have a channel, their main channel is Linus Tech Tips. They're on all the platforms, TikTok, YouTube, all the things, Instagram. This guy has a whole bunch of different brands. So these are some of his channels that he has. Collectively, they have about 46 million subscribers across all their platforms. They mostly do tech reviews. Obviously, this is kind of like a Mr. Beast style channel. And I know that probably doesn't mean a lot to a lot of you, but it's not tech reviews. And then on that, he's got 70 staff, and he's looking to bring on another 60 this year. 70 people work for this guy and his team. And he has everything from like logistics, HR, finance, sales, everything, right? Like, it's a proper business. This screwdriver took him 3 years to develop. He advertised it on his platform as he went through building it. And so far, they've sold 120,000 units at $70 each. Like, just direct sales from his website, just through his platform, right? You can do the math yourself on how much money that is. And then this one here is a backpack, 70,000 units sold at $250. These are just some of the things that he can do, but they have they're building a lab where they can test and review actual tech products for companies. It'll be a state-of-the-art, world-first lab that can test. Like, he's got a model ear that it's a robotic ear to simulate humans, so he can put headphones on it and test long use exposure and stuff like that. Like, this is the sort of shit he's a YouTuber, remember? And this is sort of the businesses that he's getting into. And the point of it is, with 46 million subscribers just on YouTube, not including his TikTok, his Instagram, all that, he can do whatever the fuck he wants, pretty much. Whatever he wants. Who knows these guys? One? Good. Neither writer would know the Green Brothers. Yeah. Okay, so these guys are, again, huge in social media. Hank Green on TikTok has about 7.4 million followers on that platform, but that's not even why they're really famous. They got big audiences on these platforms. They have heaps of stuff. They got 50 plus million followers across their YouTube accounts. But these two do a whole bunch of stuff. So they got two main channels. First one's Crash Course. It is proper curriculum now in schools in America. Like, they made crash courses on literally every single topic you can think of. If you want to learn world history, there's about 14 videos on there, 10 minutes each, and you'll know world history, everything about it. Like, it's honestly a crash course on stupid topics. Everything that you guys do, they've made a video, a series, on a crash course on what you do so other people can learn it. These guys, they've got best industry experts making these things, and then they just give it all away for free. And SciShow, there's a whole bunch of iterations to it. But what these things did is it helped them build an audience to where they've done 50 plus million copies of books sold, right? Like as an author, that's a stupid amount of sales in terms of author, right, as an author. The Fault in Our Stars, there's Paper Towns, there's all these big name books that you might not know, but you might have seen the movies. There's definitely movies out there that are real big. Looking for Alaska is another one of his. That's John Green. Hank Green's got his own books. They've also done millions of copies of sales as well. They have this thing called Project for Awesome. I think just this year, or just in the last calendar year, it's raised over $3 million, which this is one of their many charities that they've done. What time have I got? And then also $20 million in revenue a year in this thing called DFTBA, which is their core business, which sells merchandise for other creators. So they have a whole merchandising, a whole 3PL shipping service. They've got the whole infrastructure in terms of like sourcing materials and designing products and selling it, marketing and distribution, all that sort of stuff through his DFTBA, and they do $20 million of revenue. And then because these guys are such good people, they give 90% of the profits away to charity and that. And then, just for fun, John Green has a YouTube channel where he plays FIFA, and all the money in there he gives to AFC Wimbledon, and now he's one of their key sponsors of a English football team. Okay, they're like second div or something like that, maybe third div even, but they're still like, he's got his name on a stadium from YouTube proceeds. Okay, so why did I bring these guys up? The point of the story is that when you build a huge audience, which TikTok and other platforms allow you to do, TikTok allows you to do it at a rate no one's ever seen before. Once you build up audiences like these guys, who are some of the big heavyweights in it, you can literally do whatever you want. There is nothing you can't do. When you can speak to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people every day, there isn't anything you can't do. Your whole business is about getting sales in the door, right? And you do that through networking, like coming to here, talking to people, posting on social media, doing SEO or whatever. These guys built media companies that allowed them to literally do whatever business they wanted. And they did it over a long period of time. It's not short, it's not a quick fix. But now they're at a position because they stuck at it and they went hard at it, that these guys, well, especially Mr. Beast, some of the biggest businesses there are, right? Mr. Beast is only 24, 25, and he's valued at $10 billion, and he doesn't do any tech. You know, he sells physical goods at 25, and he's worth $10 billion. That's how crazy these sort of numbers are. We've all been there. So I'm going to rush through this part a little bit, but NZME, we all know who this is, right? So if these guys have created their own NZME, right? They're creating their own media companies. They're creating their own sorts of places for distributing content and messaging. And so we're trying to do a similar thing at the Attention Seeker. This is our Attention Seeker profile. And as I said, we have some big videos that have done really well. But we actually average 2.5 million views per week on our TikTok, right? 2.5 million people watch a video on our platform every single week. The NZ Herald has 1.8 million readers a week. So in the space of 9 months, we've outpaced a 160-year-old newspaper in terms of viewership. And we only just started, right? Like that's only just beginning, and it's running at an exponential rate. So your ability to get attention, like if we think about NZ Herald, oh, sorry, that's the increase, how much more we get than them, just to rub the salt in the wound. But an average like advertising campaign on New Zealand Herald, you wouldn't be surprised to spend 40 grand for a week's advertising. That's not an outrageous number to think. $40,000 to get less than what we've got in 9 months consistently every week, right? So if you're trying to do this every week, that starts that out real fast in terms of what, like the ability to reach people. So the system's broken. We've known this for a long time. New Zealand Herald are still very good at selling, so they're in no danger of going out of business just yet. But as small businesses, you aren't currently the New Zealand Herald. You probably can't afford that sort of budget every single week, but you can afford a budget or people in your team to help you get to 2.5 million views a week, doing other platforms, TikTok and things like that. You can do it. You can get there. It's not hard. And as you've seen with some of the other examples we got, Phone Plus is not even 3 months in, and they're already at almost 20,000, 15 million views, and they are growing real fast, like really fast. I'll do this talk in 6 months, and when I say who's heard of Phone Plus, you would have heard about them. Because New Zealand Herald will pick it up. Because they'll be like, we need to jump on these guys because they get more views than we do, right? So, media company. Now, I guess what we're trying to say is like, how do we make you guys a media company? What stops us from being a media company ourselves? And first of all, well, I'll get all these up. My slides aren't very good. These are some of the platforms you can be on. There's obviously TikTok, what we talk about, but there's all these other platforms that you can be on. Apparently people still use Snapchat. I didn't realize that. The Gen Zs still use it. It's one of their major messaging platforms, which is crazy. But media companies, right, you don't have to be on TikTok. You can be anywhere. YouTube is often a really good place to go because they also pay you. So it's a really good place to put it. But there are people still blowing up on Instagram now. I follow a guy on Instagram who in the last 3 months went from 0 to 180,000 followers, all organic on Instagram, which everyone says is dying. So it's still possible. You can still build these media companies and this presence on all the platforms that you want to be on. Who's used ChatGPT? Cool, awesome. So I've got a few things up there about it, and the reason I wanted to bring it up is that it is outrageous, right? What it can do for you and your business, not just from marketing, but all sorts of perspectives. It's changing the world. It's got a lot to go, but it's pretty damn close to being there. DALL-E, has anyone played with DALL-E? I don't even know if I'm saying it right. It's OpenAI, same engine in behind, but it does images instead of text, right? Yeah. Publer is another tool we use, which is essentially a scheduling tool, but it has those two tools built into it. So it, again, from a marketing perspective, just makes things super easy. You can literally go in it, type in something, a topic, and say, write me some text, and then give me an image about that text, and then done. Hey, in Publer, directly in it, do all your work. So, do I have enough time to do some funny ones? Okay, cool. So, I can't see shit. So, what I'm gonna do is, I got a few prompts here, which are funny, but it kind of just a lot of people, actually, just quickly, what are some examples of why you've used ChatGPT? What have you asked it to do? Just real broad topics. Create posts. Yeah, what else? Marketing strategies, perfect, cool. Technical information, yeah. What else? Eulogy, good. Yep, cool. I remember you telling me actually, yeah. Cool. So there's a range of stuff there, but essentially getting it to draft you some text, essentially, right? So it can do all sorts of, which way am I going here? All sorts of crazy stuff. So this one here says, compose a song. It should feature a rivalry between the boomer Ben Maris and the millennial Stanley Henry. It should contain witty jokes that rhyme, include the piano chords that go with it. So, right? Oh, it'll come down. They're usually at the end of this one. Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. The point of it is we've barely scratched the surface on what's possible with these things. We've asked it real generic stuff currently, but it can do outrageous. You could get it, you can get it to do a whole bunch of stuff. So then there's this one. Oh, where's my cursor? Okay, so this is create a 12-week workout plan. Goals are to increase muscle and strength. I'd like a step-by-step plan with specific exercises, reps, sets, and weight targets. As much details as possible. So just give me a little blurb, a little disclaimer. And my brother's a PT in Dubai, and he had to play with this, and his thing was this is fucking awesome because it's going to get rid of all the posers out there. The guys who aren't actually coaches, they just know how to use Google, right? So this is where it's going to start to disrupt us, where actually, so that's what his thought was, but actually what it's going to do is it's going to give them this tool too. And so actually people still aren't going to use this. They are still going to go to these people, and they're going to get really good work done for them really cheaply, which essentially means the same for you. There's going to be not necessarily, I don't think consumers or businesses are going to use this to do stuff themselves. We're not really worried about people writing their own LinkedIn posts through this. But we are concerned that other LinkedIn copywriting agencies or other accountancy people who do business planning or marketing strategies or whatever it might be will now have a tool that will write them very good stuff, like really good. Like last one I want to show, because I know I'm running out of time, is like you can do spreadsheets in here. Like, so there was someone out there said business plans before. You can do all that sort of stuff, but this one here is create a spreadsheet to help track engagement metrics for my social media accounts. Please include formulas. Oh, it's having a meltdown now. Oh, hang on, let me refresh and start again. Yeah, is it going to tell? Okay. Yeah, the point of this thing is that like this is, I don't know, I'm not that technical, but like Bruce, you probably know, like from a coding perspective, like you can get it to literally give you the code to, I could get it if I knew how to prompt it, right? If I knew what I was asking for, because I don't. You could get it, this thing here, which is giving me a tracker to track engagement metrics for our business, I could get it to give me the code to write that into a program as well, right? So like what it allows you to do, what it allows other smaller businesses and other businesses to do is to do, like have more competitors into the market and do things at a lower cost than you and have a lot of cowboys in there doing stuff. So what does it mean you need to do to transform your business to make sure you're still sitting above? It's like when Xero started, it changed the way accountants did business, right? They had to be more advice giving and a lot of other things that accountants had to do because a lot of the manual labor was taken out, right? And that doesn't even really have AI in it. You know, wait till this sort of stuff. Once Xero starts putting real AI in behind their tools and what it can do, it doesn't mean that we won't have, we're not going to like get rid of us. It's going to actually, I think it's going to bring more competitors because more people can do stuff.
It's just going to complement. It's never going to take away.
No. It's never going to take over. But there will be more competitors because more people, like already I'm able to have the business I have because I learned everything I know off Google, off YouTube already. Now I've got a tool to just give me the answer straight away. Like instantly give me the answer. Not just the answer, the tool I need to do the thing I want to do. So the reason we put this at the end is we talked about building great audiences, building big brands, getting on TikTok and stuff like that. That will always outbeat any of this stuff. Big brands will always have clients, will always have businesses if they have a really good brand. So I guess in summary, with this thing still plotting away, is TikTok isn't as scary as you think, but also short form video as a concept and content style is everywhere. It's YouTube Shorts, it's Facebook, it's Instagram. There are plenty of ways to do it. You don't have to dance. There's heaps of other things you can do. And essentially my parting words is just like, stop being so scared about it, right? Like last 12, 15 years, whatever it is, you missed YouTube, you missed Facebook, you missed Instagram, you missed Snapchat apparently. But there's a real opportunity here. Like the window's small. Like we kind of feel that TikTok's got a year or two left, especially with YouTube making the moves that it's doing in the ad space. There isn't long to jump on this and build an organic brand before you have to pay for it again and wait another 5 to 8 years for the next platform to come along and miss the boat again. Cool, that's it. Any questions?